From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Welcome to a special Sunday edition of the Fbx Evening News. Today is February 23rd, 2014. I'm Holly Seiler, leading our news tonight. A North Pole man arrested last week for sexually abusing a 14-year-old girl over the course of years is a retired state trooper commander. 75-year-old Warren Tanner retired from the state troopers in 1999 as commander of the Fairbanks Trooper Detachment. According to a Department of Public Safety newsletter from 2004, Tanner was a sergeant in Tok as well as serving as a statewide search and rescue coordinator. A U.S. Marshal Task Force was in town on other business and was asked to assist with Tanner's arrest. He's charged with 6 counts of felony sexual abuse of a minor and is currently being held without bail. A preliminary hearing in the case is scheduled for early March. The State House Friday unanimously approved a resolution concerning offshore oil and gas revenue. H.J.R. 26 urges Congress to provide a means to equitably share with all oil and gas producing states adjacent to federal outer continental shelf areas part of the revenue generated from oil and gas development on OCS. The resolution states that the action would ensure that those states develop necessary infrastructure to support outer continental shelf development and preserve environmental integrity.
But I think we have to be much more proactive than we have been. You know, whether it's just planning, if nothing else, to lay out the groundwork, the grids, what can be done, where, certainly the voice of the indigenous people in the areas. But the state needs to not wait for the feds to do those things because we're going to be waiting way too long. Thank you.
Alaska senators listened to over an hour of public testimony Wednesday on a bill that enables the Alaska gas pipeline to move forward. The vast majority of the testimony expressed admiration and appreciation for the people who have been working on Senate Bill 138. SB 138, introduced by Governor Sean Parnell, effectively kills the Alaska Gas Line Inducement Act in favor of an in-state natural gas pipeline to South Central Alaska. Current plans call for the pipeline to end at a liquefaction facility, allowing gas to be exported by tanker. However, not everyone is backing the proposal. George Pierce of Castleoff blasted the bill as a giveaway to special interest groups. Monday marks the 35th day of the legislature, and that means the cutoff for introduction of personal legislation. After that, only committees are allowed to introduce bills or resolutions. More than 600 bills and resolutions have been introduced so far during the 28th legislature, which began last year. About 70 bills have passed, according to the legislature's website. Work continues on the major issues, including the gas pipeline project, state budget, and education. But other things to watch out this week include legislation that would define what constitutes a medically necessary abortion for purposes of Medicaid payment, and a bill that would bar discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity and expression. Chino Lakes could possibly be seeing some competition this summer. The idea for the Tananaut Lakes Recreation Area dates back more than 20 years, and a master plan was approved by the borough back in 2007. On Thursday, the Fairbanks North Star Borough Assembly will vote on whether they should spend $150,000 on the park. The park would be modeled after the much-loved Chino Lakes Recreation Area in North Pole and will include an open beach, picnic areas, and a boat ramp and trails. Its home will sit at the end of Cushman Street, where a rifle range once stood. A mile of park road, 3 parking lots, and a pavilion have already been completed in the park. A local group of concerned citizens held a rally today in support of Second Amendment rights. While the focus of the event was on gun control laws, speakers addressed a number of topics which organizers say were liberty-based issues. Fairbanks residents and 2010 GOP Senate nominee Joe Miller was among those speakers. Those in attendance of the rally say while Alaska is a relatively gun-friendly state, it's still important for people to let lawmakers know their opinions.
We still need to guard our liberties and make sure that our representatives understand our position and how much we value these rights. And if we don't gather and speak up in support of them, they'll be getting chipped away.
When we come back, Dark Winter Nights invites Alaskans to tell their uniquely Alaskan stories, and a local business wins a national award. We'll have those stories and much more when the weekend's only local televised newscast returns. Stay with us. Welcome back. Alaskan stories are like no other on Earth. It's why so many networks are currently trying to create shows in the far north. One documentary filmmaker wants to change that. In an effort to keep Alaskan stories in Alaska, University of Alaska journalism professor Rob Prince is hosting Dark Winter Nights, a Fairbanks storytelling event. All true great stories are welcome, funny, sad, scary, heartwarming. The only rule is that they have to be about Alaska. Along with the event, Prince is starting a radio documentary that will include these stories and much more in a series of podcasts coming out next year. Dark Winter Nights is free to the public and will be at the Pioneer Park Theater Saturday, April 19th at 8 p.m.
If anyone's got a story out there to share, please go to professorprince.com. There's more information about the event. There's a submission form to submit your story idea. If you've got stage fright, I still really want to hear your story because I'll need it for the radio program. So even if the idea of getting on stage doesn't sound good to you, I still want to hear your story. And I still need lots of leads on other people who have stories. So even if you may not feel like you have a story good enough, but you've got that friend or coworker who always has an awesome story about Alaska to tell, I want to hear about it.
A local business has been nominated for a national award by the United States Chamber of Commerce. Dateline Digital Printing has been selected as one of the 100 businesses in the running for the Blue Ribbon Small Business Award. Dateline was selected from a, quote, record number of applicants across the nation for demonstrating exceptional business practices. Lisa Herbert, Executive Director with the Fairbanks Chamber, nominated the business after it won 2013's Bill Stroker Business of the Year Award. Dateline Digital Printing is also eligible for the Community Excellence Award, which will be decided through online public voting ending February 28th. You can find the link on our website at webcenter11.com. The U.S. Chamber will announce 7 regional finalists on March 19th.
So basically right now we have an opportunity for the next week until February 28th to garner votes for a Community Excellence Award, which is a business that is seen by their community as being a partner and being someone who really exhibits excellence in the community. And so people can vote. They can go to fairbanksalaska.com/vote-dateline and cast their vote for us. And we really think it would be a cool feather in the cap for the city for a business from Fairbanks, Alaska to show up in Washington, D.C. and win that award. So.
The St. Baldrick's Foundation currently funds more in childhood cancer research grants than any organization except the U.S. government. It coordinates worldwide head shaving events to raise money and awareness. Since 2000, they've raised more than $188 million and hosted nearly 8,000 events. Here is Stephanie Woodard with more on this annual event.
The local fire department puts together a fundraiser to raise money for a very good cause.
Baldrick's is a volunteer-driven organization. It's an international event, also a foundation that the sole intent is to raise money for children's cancer research. And how they raise money is doing a head shaving event.
The event itself brings out many interior residents who want to support the cause.
It's a really fun event to do, and I think a lot of people do. We have people return every year because it's a fun way to give back to a great cause.
Interior firefighters started this nearly a decade ago in Alaska, and since then many others around the state have done the same.
This will be our 10th year here in Fairbanks. We have also been the first one in Alaska to do the event, and in such time there's been 9 other places in Alaska that have come on board and done their own events.
St. Baldrick's fundraiser will be March 22nd at Pioneer Park. Volunteers, including hairdressers, are still needed. Stephanie Woodard, News Center 11.
While the Olympic spirit ends for this cycle, Fairbanks residents will get another dose of wintertime sportsmanship at the Arctic Winter Games, and organizers want to keep it clean and green. Volunteers say new recycling bins are coming to Fairbanks, and several may stick around thanks to a sponsorship by Kinross Fort Knox and a grant from the borough. As part of a mandate, host cities for the Arctic Winter Games must offer recycling for participants, and during the games there will be different bins for paper, plastic, and aluminum. When the games end, local residents can expect to see the new bins placed across town.
But what our committee decided is we try to up the game a little bit and make this more of a legacy project, we're going to be able to purchase bins that will be in the community permanently. So Pioneer Park, Birch Hill, the Morris Thompson Cultural and Visitor Center, Project Fairbanks, which is a downtown project, all of us will get bins that we can use for the long term.
Some junior ROTC cadets from the interior got up close and personal training with the big guns in Anchorage earlier this month. News Center 11's Monty Bowen has details in this report.
Cadets from Ben Eielson High School's Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps learned about Spartan Steel as they had a field lesson from the paratroopers of 2nd Battalion, 377th Parachute Field Artillery Regiment on Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Anchorage.
It's a great opportunity for these cadets to come out and see the artillery in action and see what the Army and specifically the artillery can bring to the fight and how we operate, especially in the Arctic conditions.
The teacher thought it was a great opportunity for the junior ROTC members.
One of the nice things is with Lieutenant Kornberg, he's one of our former cadet group commanders. We worked with him hand in hand, which was a whole new facet for us, which I'm really happy with. I can't believe that we got to come out here and see the guns.
The youngsters were impressed with what they learned.
They knew exactly what they were doing, which is really cool. So the math that showed up there, really, I think that was great for a lot of the kids because I see them in their math classes and they're always moaning and groaning about what they're going to do with math.
It's a really unique opportunity for them and not one that many people get.
Monty Bowen, News Center 11.
Michael Ives is up next with sports. He has highlights from the Ice Dog beatdown last night, then college and prep basketball action. Stay here for sports right after the break.
Welcome back, Alaska. Michael Ives here with your special Sunday sports wrap-up, and there was plenty of good interior sports action going on. We'll start at the Big Dipper, where it was retribution time for the Fairbanks Ice Dogs. Still stinging from a 3-2 overtime loss on Friday night, the Fairbanks Ice Dogs hosted the Kenai River Brown Bears for Game 2 of the set, and the Dogs would look to set the tone early. Within minutes of puck drop, it would be Colton Walters setting the aggressive tone for the Ice Dogs as he dusts off the knuckles and gets the crowd on Military Appreciation Weekend roaring behind the home team. The Ice Dogs then get the scoring started with a first period tally by Ross Olson, his second goal as an Ice Dog. The second period would be a home team explosion as Fairbanks notches 5 goals in the period. Kyle Lee stays hot and sneaks one past the Bears keeper to put the Dogs up 2-0 and open the floodgates. Taylor Munson strikes next as he carries the puck into the slot and fires one into the back of the twine. Then back to Lee as he fakes a drop-off pass behind him and beats Chris Oldham glove side before he even knew it had happened. Munson would then get his second goal of the night as he finishes a 2-on-1 break with the keep and the shot that chases Oldham from the game. The Ice Dogs would cruise to a 7-1 win and get some retribution after a tough loss in Game 1. Forward Kyle Lee told News Center 11 what has been working for the Ice Dogs, and Coach Trevor Stewart told us they might still need a little work before playoff time.
Yeah, just changing my speed throughout the neutral zone and offensive zone. I try to get the D to slow up and then try to get a burst of speed past them, and just gotta use your speed when you're a little guy. Just moving the puck, using my teammates as an advantage to move the puck up the ice, and if they have a better scoring opportunity, I feel that they should get that open shot instead of just shooting it and getting it blocked or something.
Just we need to get better. There's certain areas of the game where we still struggle at, and we just need to work hard in practice and continue on the right path. So.
Now to the Patty Center Hardwood, where the Nanooks hosted a men's and women's doubleheader last night. The men faced the St. Martin Saints after a tough loss on Thursday to Western Oregon. Against St. Martin's, the Nanook defense would again shine as they hold the Saints to only 46 points on the evening, including a stout first half that left a 30-15 halftime advantage for Alaska. Senior Stefan Tietze led all Nanook scorers with 12 points as they spread the ball throughout the roster to a tune of 66 on the night. This win puts the Nanooks into the GNAC postseason play for the second straight year and sets up a showdown with the UAAC Wolves this Thursday at the Patty Center. Winner of that rivalry game clinches third place in the conference.
Our guys were determined from the get-go, especially defensively. We've got a couple good defenses. We've been playing man and zone and tonight we relied on the zone and you know, really took them out of their game. They had a little run at the second half. They had that little run at the start of the second half that they closed the gap. But other than that, I thought we were in control defensively.
Women's hoops took on the Clan from Simon Fraser earlier in the night, and it was senior night for Nanook's Ruth O'Neill and Samantha Thornton. The 13-point effort by Thornton, however, would not be enough, and the Clan sneaks out with a close 69-67 win over the Nanooks. The Clan was led by the GNAC's top scorer, Aaron Chambers, who dropped 22 in the win over Alaska. The Nanooks are now 9-15 on the year and will close out the regular season on the road later this week. Now a short trip from the Hill at UAF down to the gym at West Valley for a rivalry Dog Bowl basketball matchup. With Lathrop holding the #1 spot in the state for 4A teams, it was the Wolfpack who looked to attack and force the issue against the visiting Malamutes. Trevon Brackett stakes his claim to Alaska Hoops Player of the Year awards with another great game. He finished with 18 and helped the Pack play tough defense on the visitors. Terrell Ford would lead all scorers with 21 points for Lathrop, and the game would be hotly contested down the stretch. But it was West Valley making the big plays late and downing Lathrop 64-59. It's the Malamutes' first loss against 4A competition this year. This game was preceded by a girls' matchup that saw West Valley fall to Lathrop 45-42 as they played without star center Ruthie Hebert. Conference tournaments for both boys and girls start soon into March. The 2014 Iron Dog snowmobile race ended in downtown Fairbanks yesterday. It would be the Wasilla pair of Todd Minnick and Nick Olstad taking the 2014 title. Olstad even fought off a nasty cold and 102-degree body temperature to raise the trophy on the Chena River. After winning in 2009, Minnick and Olstad unseat defending champs Mark McKenna and Dusty Van Meter, the second-place finishers, by 22 minutes into Fairbanks. Third place went to Mike Morgan and Chris Olds, who led early in the race and encountered some engine trouble in the last half of the 2,000-mile journey. The top interior team this year was Tananaw's Arnold Marks Jr. and Archie Agnes, who finished in 6th place overall. The course this year was described as brutal, and it tested all 38 teams throughout. Now, with closing ceremonies tonight, the Sochi Winter Olympic Games officially comes to a close. NBC's Jack Dole sums up the Olympic competition from this year's Games.
It didn't take long for Team USA to begin its golden journey. Sage Katzenberg grabbed the glory in the first medal event of these games, the snowboard slopestyle.
Dude, that's sick.
The U.S. dominated the so-called X Games sports. Jamie Anderson took the women's slopestyle. 2 medals in women's snowboard halfpipe gold for David Wise and Maddie Bowman on skis, and a 3-way sweep in the men's ski slopestyle.
Oh, wow, there's a lot of emotion there.
Sochi minted new heroes like Michaela Schifrin, the youngest athlete ever to win Alpine gold, but said goodbye to others like Shaun White and Bodie Miller. At times, the competition resembled the postman's creed, with athletes delivering performances in snow, rain, and heat. But the snow held for Julia Mancuso in the Super Combined, Andrew Weibrecht in the Super G, and Ted Ligety in a precise run to giant slalom goal.
It's an awesome feeling.
There were plenty of Sochi problems that became social media punchlines. There was the faulty snowflake, tricky bathroom doors, and water the color of a bronze medal. But one picture posted by silver medalist Gus Kenworthy started an outreach program to adopt some of Sochi's stray dogs.
I just fell in love with them and felt that if I could do anything to help them, I really wanted to try.
So we say goodbye to Rosa Couture and the Coastal Cluster, to hockey heartbreak and ice dancing delight. And we say hello to memories that will have to last 4 more years until the next Winter Games. Jack Doles, NBC News, Sochi.
And that's all the time we have for sports tonight. Thanks for joining me, and remember to be back tomorrow as Joe Cook keeps you up to date on all your interior sports. As always, for more KTVF sports or to chat with us sports folks, you can log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, or download our mobile app. Keep on keeping on, Alaska. Stick around for Mike Schultz and your full weather forecast coming up next.
Hey everyone, welcome back into this special Sunday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News.
Mike Schultz with you, and it's time to take a look at weather once again. What can you say about the weekend? Lots of sunshine, a little chilly at times, but not too bad for down the river for the tired iron. We're looking at a clearing trend to continue right on through the rest of the week, and even slowly warming. We'll tell you about that in a little bit. Taking a look across the state today, first of all, our satellite and radar, as you can see, not a whole lot going on. High pressure really dominating the weather scene. Very, very few clouds here and there, and that's going to continue. And speaking of temperatures, our high today was 13 degrees after a normal high of 14. The overnight low last night, 26 below. Our normal low right around 11 degrees below zero. Record high 1945 got up to 48 that day, and in 1932 dropped down to 50 below. Now our sunrise and sunset works out to about a little more than 9.5 hours of daylight, a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. And once again, we have an air quality problem going on. The folks in Fairbanks looking at moderate problems, but in North Pole, it's unhealthy. This advisory is expected to last until 5 p.m. Tuesday, so folks with respiratory problems, kids, and the elderly should make it a normal routine of just staying inside for right now. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, we're looking at lots of sunshine over southeast Alaska, spreading around the Anchorage Bowl. Some showers around the Kodiak Island area, otherwise cloudy skies up and down the west coast. A little light snow being reported in the Barrow area, 2 degrees for the high there, and 8 below at Fort Yukon. Lower 48 weather, a little bit of weather to talk about, not nearly as severe as it has been for the last month or so, it seems like. A little rain falling across the Pacific Northwest, some rain around the Texas area, and some showers and thunderstorms rumbling across the deep south. And as far as our satellite and radar, again, you can see the jet stream really well defined here with the cloud structure, and there's the thunderstorms across the Florida Peninsula. Not much going on the west coast, but that's going to change. In fact, later on in the second half of this week, they're going to get some much needed rain across much of California and the Sierra Nevadas. A lot of snow expected there too. That'll help their drought situation that's going on. The overall jet stream, again, calling for some really wild movement of the air. You can see going way up to the north across northern Canada, and then diving way down south again, pulling all that cold air with it right across the Midwest and the northern plains, and some more possible snow across the northeast, just what they need, right? While the rest of the country looks pretty good for the most part. Again, dry situation over the south, and then there comes the rain on the west coast. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow in the northern sections, looking at scattered clouds at Barrow, some snow showers in the Nome area, and sunny skies expected in Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, couldn't ask for better weather. Breezy at Healy, winds gusting close to 35 miles an hour. Sunny skies for Delta Junction and the Fairbanks area, and temperatures right around 12 degrees above zero, not below zero, but 12 degrees above. Sunny skies for Juneau tomorrow over southeast Alaska, and clear skies in Ketchikan. And temperatures warming up to about 38 degrees at Ketchikan. Now over to the southwest part of the state, it looks like for the most part a mixed bag of weather once again. Snow showers for Bethel, rain and snow at Kodiak, and cloudy skies in the Cold Bay area. And temperatures once again close to 40 degrees around the Cold Bay area. Mostly sunny skies in the Anchorage Bowl if you're heading on down there. Partly cloudy skies expected at Homer, and sunny skies for Valdez. Okay, here's our forecast for the remainder of the night. We have a moderate level of chance of seeing some auroras, about a 3 level, which is not too bad. We've had a lot of auroras lately, some great video and photos. And as far as our forecast is concerned, 20 below tonight, not as cold, with clear skies and light winds. Now tomorrow's forecast, we're going to try and get that temperature up there for the opening of the ice park out there on Phillips Field Road, 12 degrees for the high. Another day with lots of sunshine and, like I said, temperatures slowly warming. And the 5-day outlook looks pretty encouraging. As you see here, temperatures warming to the mid to upper 20s by the rest of the week. And overnight lows will also be warming too to the single digits above zero, even to the 10-degree category. Things look really nice, and as like I said, lots of sunshine expected, and it will be great for the opening, like I said before, of the ice park. And I'm going to be excited about that because starting tomorrow night and for the rest of the week, I'll be broadcasting live there with the weather updates each night. Hopefully my mouth will not freeze shut by the end of the newscast.
I love when the ice park is in town because that lets me know that it's going to be warming up soon.
Usually.
We're getting into March, and it's already, we're having really nice weather. So.
And they've got some great displays this year. They have a chapel there that they're building, and they've already got people booked to have weddings there.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, so the groom will actually be getting cold feet when he's getting married.
Nice. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're really glad you could join us.
Remember to join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
That will do it from all of us here at the News Center. We hope you've enjoyed these Sunday casts, and we'll see you back again here tomorrow. Have a good night.